This is quite possibly the best knife I own, and coming in at only $45, it is completely affordable. It's called the Morakniv Bushcraft Black, and I really like the look of it. I use it for a number of tasks, carrying it with me every time I go into the woods, from doing menial tasks like cutting things, to processing tinder and kindling with it for fire making. So in this video, I'll be going over everything about this knife, starting with the looks and sheath. It has a super nice sleek black look, which I like, but plastic sheaths are not my favorite, as they can break. It makes up for it though by staying in there nicely and coming out when you want it to. It has a super nice friction grip on there with a nice ergonomic feel to it, fitting big hands and small hands. It is also made and designed in Sweden, which is pretty cool. On the blade, it has a Scandi grind, making it easier to sharpen, which makes sure this knife is always sharp, and it is great for making shallow cuts, which is helpful for making this feather stick, for example. And after 2 years of owning it, it has fared well, suffering no dents, dings, or chips in it whatsoever. This knife has a 90-degree spine, which all Bushcraft knives should have. It helps with a lot, one of those things being to strike a ferro rod, which is helpful if you don't have a striker, and in my personal opinion, it even works better than a striker. Coming back to the blade, I really like how big it is. Some knives have a really small handle, but you can get a really good grip with this handle because it is made of rubber, giving it a really good friction grip. It also has these two things here allowing for more dexterity when using it. It has a carbon steel blade, making it very strong and resilient under pressure, which allows it to baton through big things like this log, and still keeping a very sharp edge. And again, with that Scandi grind, it's going to make this easier to sharpen. The length of the blade is only 4.4 inches, which does not seem like much, but it completes most tasks well. And for how durable it is, it's only partial tang, meaning the tang of the knife only fills the handle partially. But in the case of this knife, that's not necessarily bad. This knife is built like an absolute beast and has not broken on me yet. Leading over to the sheath of this knife, the belt loop sits just parallel to the knife handle, which is great because the knife handle won't keep jabbing into your side. Although the knife sheath itself does scare me because it's made of plastic and just seems easily breakable. Although there has been no damage to the sheath at all. And for how cheap it seems, it's actually probably one of the best sheaths in my opinion, keeping my knife safe, sturdily in place, and unsheathing and resheathing very easily with no straps. Going over some other specs, the blade thickness is 3.2 millimeters or about 0.125 inches. Which is an average when we look at the Ontario Bushcraft knife being the same thickness. This blade thickness definitely contributes to the knife's durability. The weight of this knife is only 174.6 grams, and that definitely makes carrying it very easy because if I'm being honest, I don't even notice it on me, and I mostly forget I even have it. And that's definitely where the partial tang shines through. Removing most of the tang and replacing it with rubber really makes this a great ultralight knife. Again, this knife has a really good price point, compared to other knives around the same quality at more than double the price. With the carbon steel blade, the metal is more brittle, but I haven't experienced any chips in the knife edge at all, except for a few dings in the spine. Overall, I really like the sleek black look of this knife. It has served me well, and I really like the 90-degree spine for making shavings like this and striking a ferro rod, which came in handy. I personally don't find a need for a knife over $100, like this Benchmade Anonymous. With a low price point of $46 for the Mora and a $264 difference, I'm sure there is a quality difference between cheap and expensive knives, like this one is most likely sharper out of the box and has a full tang blade, but I can't imagine myself needing anything more than this. I have really beat this thing up, and it is only needed to be cleaned. It gets pretty sharp and stays pretty sharp. I just feel like there is no need for a blade any sharper than this. The only exception is needing a bigger knife for bigger tasks like chopping big logs. But you can get good quality big knives for cheap too, just at the expensive weight. I do completely agree with investing in good quality knives because trust me, ultra cheap knives are not worth it. Like this knife I got out of Temu, which doesn't even have a price tag because it came in a set. It had its tip broken off because of the brittle metal and thin blade, not even being partial tang either. Concluding this review on the knife, my favorite aspects of it is its lightweight and sheer durability for being partial tang. But the price point is definitely the selling point of this knife, making it great for bushcrafters who don't want to spend a fortune on just a knife. Well, that was my review on the Morakniv Bushcraft Black, and that's really all I had to say on it. If you like the video, subscribe, like the video, comment any of your thoughts. If you click this video right here, you'll be able to see what happens when you get cheap gear instead of investing in good quality gear. Anyway, that's it. Peace.